So you want to make an impact. You're thinking about starting a business, sharing your voice. How do women do it that handle motherhood, family, and still chase after those dreams? Well, listen each week as we dive into the stories of women who know. This is Call Me CEO. Welcome back, everyone, to Call Me CEO. This is your host, Camille Walker, and here we celebrate mothers building business. And today, we're talking about how AI makes your life easier. Now, listen, there are new businesses that are popping up with AI capabilities. And what is really exciting to me is that this one is specifically for mothers making their lives easier. So, and today we are talking about K Botkin, who built a millennial mom with two young boys, a full-time corporate leader, and founder of Can You Do It All, which, by the way, that's an adorable name. So recently, we were just talking about what makes her story so remarkable is that she thought there is so much going on in our brains. We are taking care of grocery shopping, scheduling, budgeting, and more all through our brains. There's so much mental load. And if AI can make our lives easier and be built into an app that helps us have reminders about when and where and actually loads up to our groceries with ordering. I love online grocery ordering. I don't know what a gift. That is like a fairy godmother gift I wish I had when I had young children. But in this episode, we're going to be talking about entrepreneurship, motherhood, embracing technology, and what it looks like to build something meaningful when you have no idea how to get started. And if you've ever had a big idea, but you feel unqualified to pursue it, this conversation's for you. We are talking about this with Cassandra being a newbie. This is new for her. And listen, I share stories of women and mothers at every stage. And I think it's kind of cool to have people who are new and hopping into it, even though it feels a little scary. But listen, the water is warm and we are here to support you with your ideas and Cassandra with hers. So thank you so much for joining the show. Cassandra,
Hi,
tell us a little bit more
Camille.
about you. Hi.
Thank you so much for having me. This is a great opportunity. I'm so appreciative. So I started this podcast, or I started my app about 3 months ago. The backstory is that actually at the beginning of the calendar year, it was my dad that inspired me or encouraged me really to write in my job performance review for the year to try to learn some AI skills. I kind of rolled my eyes at him and thought that was not a great idea. I work in pharmacy. I work in like a corporate, like tech or non-techie world that's kind of behind on AI. And so I went ahead and put that in my eval. My boss like didn't even pay attention to it and kind of just like skimmed over it. And I was like, phew, like dodged a bullet. Didn't really want to talk about that anyway. I was like, I don't even know anything about AI. I don't even like AI. So that was literally me back in like February. And then my company actually started to put together a like AI cohort trying to focus on like building an AI strategy for the company. So I raised my hand as like a young female leader on the team, and I got shot down. And so it was by like a male leader. And he was like, no, like we already have enough interest. We don't need you. Thanks, but no thanks kind of thing. And so after that, I was like, fine, I'm going to learn AI on my own. And so that kind of like kickstarted me to start learning AI skills. And I started playing around with Claude and ChatGPT, trying to figure out like which one worked better for me. And the next thing I know is I like went down this path of following all these AI influencers that were really techie and speaking like this language that I knew nothing about. And I realized like there's no AI tools out there that actually help me as a mom. And I'm a brand new-ish mom. I have a 3-year-old and an 8-month-old. So kind of still in the thick of it. And I think that it was really exciting for me to realize that you can use these AI tools to build whatever you want. So that's where like I was like, this is my like new passion, sharing with other moms that you can also do whatever you want, have whatever you want with these AI tools, and you can make it work for you. So I started following like AI influencers, and they were all talking about like Claude skills and building Claude cowork and making them do all these things, automations. And I realized like no mom is really going to sit and do that or take time to set up these workflows and things in Claude, which are really cool. And there's a lot of ways that can make your life easier. So I got this idea of like making an app for moms. I had no idea that there's also other maps out there already, but I was like, I'm going to make this one unique, different, add different things to it that actually do what a mom wants it to do. So it's been a challenge. It's been a whirlwind because it's been just like 3 months of me literally staying up till 2 a.m. most nights, like trying to build this thing, try to figure this out. Because I'm so passionate about AI, helping get AI in skills or in the hands of other moms, especially like I say in the app, like built by a non-techie mom for non-techie moms. So I refer to myself very much as like a non-techie mom, because I mean, still struggle with PowerPoint and Excel. So like I am not, if anyone can do it, I feel like if I can do it, anyone can do it. And yeah, that's a long-winded answer to your short question. So sorry.
No, that's great. So I love that your perspective of being a busy mom in the thick of it is you know what we are looking for. What would you say the biggest pain points are that you personally wanted Kin to solve? Which, by the way, the app is called Kin. I don't think we mentioned that, right?
Yeah, that's it. I didn't. So thank you.
Yeah,
It's yeah,
Kin.
and
So
it's
tell
an
me
it's,
about that. Biggest pain
thanks.
points.
Yeah, the biggest pain points. So I think the biggest one that I struggle with is like definitely meal planning. I mean, I've spent so much time going on Pinterest looking for like easy meals to make for my kids. I wouldn't say they're really picky eaters right now, but I mean, the 3-year-old's kind of coming into like a stage of being a picky eater. So
Mm.
trying to find things that he'll eat. And then there's so many times where I just like didn't plan ahead and I have to just like come up with a meal based on like what's in my fridge. And I will say ChatGPT can take a picture of your fridge and like give you a meal idea. But what I built into the app was taking that another step forward and I guess integrating a shopping list or grocery list that could actually pull directly into your Kroger cart. And so it links directly with Kroger specifically. We're looking at other integrations, or I'm looking at other integrations since I am a solo founder builder. But right now, that's what it integrates with. And so you get your cart filled right away, and you can actually check out and have everything that you need for a meal, that dinner, that day. It makes it really quick and easy for you.
Oh, that sounds really nice. Would you say, in terms of using AI for the meal plan, I'm just curious with your own meal planning, do you like to do meal planning a week in advance or do you do like a daily plan, a monthly plan? Like what do you seem to find that works the best for you?
Lately, being in the summer, I feel like it's just been like day to day. Usually during the
Mhm.
school year, I feel like we're more on top of like a Sunday planning or Saturday. But right now, it's been kind of just flying by the seat of our pants. And my husband does help too with like picking up the groceries and that sort of thing. So I do lean on him as well. So it's definitely a team effort, I'd say. But I think, yeah, I like the idea of just being able to take a picture of your fridge, get meal ideas. You don't have to use the grocery cart idea. It'll just give you really good ideas of like, I don't know, what was one the other night? It was like chicken fajitas that we just did on like a pan in the oven. So it's like a super easy,
Oh, yeah.
a couple like recipe, like a few things that you threw together with some veggies. And it was like kids ate it with some chicken dip and it was good. So it was,
Perfect. That's
yeah,
so
all
great.
you
And
need.
so, when you're building this app, what were some of the biggest obstacles learning something outside of your expertise? Like you're saying,
Mm.
you're trying this out as something new. What was one of the hardest or biggest obstacles to overcome doing that?
I think just being really intimidated by AI at the beginning,
Hmm.
honestly. And that's where I would just like say to any, I guess, other mom that listens to is that like don't let that little initial intimidation of like the tech language like scare you away from it. Because the thing that I found, which is really amazing with AI, is that like if you don't know something, literally just like screenshot it, send it to Claude, ask them like, or just ask Claude, like, what does this mean? And it gives you a really good explanation. So that's how I've done a lot of my learning and like building the app is just like asking questions and trying
Hmm.
to like learn on the go. And it does a really good job of that. Like nowhere else in, I don't know, I feel like in history have you been able to
No,
like literally do that, and like Google doesn't do that, you know? So
no. Yeah.
um, yeah,
It's crazy.
so it's
Even
been
this last
exciting.
week, I just had stitches in my finger and I thought,
Mm,
oh, does this look infected? And I took a
mm,
picture of it and put it into AI. And it's like, I can't give you an official diagnosis, but these are the signs to look for. And according to that picture, this and this and this. And is it hot to the touch? And what does it feel like this? And I'm like, that's so cool. Took a photo of a plant that was dying, didn't even say what it
mm,
was or what the conditions were. and took a photo and it was like, hey, this is actually a fungus. Remove all of the leaves that have it because it can spread and do this and this and this. And I'm like,
Wow.
this is so cool. I'm a techie girl. So
Yeah.
not that I'm like super great at it, but it's
Mhm.
just, I think asking the question, it's almost like
Mhm.
removing that fear and thinking of who you were as a kid and having open curiosity and treating
Mhm.
AI that way. Like if I have a
Yeah.
question, I can apply it. And if there's something, a skill
Mhm.
I want to learn, it will hold my hand the whole way through. Right.
Yep. Yes, absolutely. And I've heard it also called like your junior assistant. So teaching it like treating it like a junior assistant. And like you can't just expect your junior assistant to go do the job perfectly. Like you have to give them instructions, kind of when you do talk
Mm,
about like prompting the AI. Like I think those are all things like again, when I think back to when I was first like inspired to start learning AI, I didn't really know what learning AI meant. I was just thought it was like asking Google better questions. But really, like once you start working, I think I would just encourage and challenge everybody to like try to start building something with AI because that's going through that process of trying to build something with AI. If you are trying to build a skill or trying to like figure out a workflow or streamline something on your own personal day to day life, like I think that going through that process and having those conversations back and forth with AI is like the biggest teacher and the best like experience. And I don't know, I would tell people like don't waste a bunch of money on like all these AI courses that are out there right now because I feel like everyone's just like selling an AI expertise product, but I think everyone is just learning as they go.
yeah.
I'm sure obviously there's a lot of experts out there, but I think that's the biggest thing is just like start finding an AI tool that you like to work with and start like learning and asking it and having conversations with it, I guess, and trying to build something.
Yeah. How would you say becoming a mom has changed the way you approach business and leadership?
Oh, that's a good one. Um, I think for me, like I just know that our kids are going to grow up with these like techie skills. And so me getting over the fear of like, or the intimidation factor of like not wanting to do AI stuff, like that, because I have kids, I've been like almost more inspired to try to learn those things, to try to
Mm,
understand it. So that way, like when they do start interacting with, I don't know, more technology or AI tools themselves, like I'll have a better understanding of myself. So
yeah.
I think just the fact that like I have kids has been part of the inspiration of like why I've tried to like figure this out.
That's an interesting point because it's interesting to think about how this will change the landscape of our workforce, how it will
Mhm.
eliminate, replace, reduce work available. But in many ways, human touch and connection is always going to be human. However,
Mhm.
changing with the times and being able to progress and be open minded to it, I think is always a good idea because it's happening whether you like it or not. So in my mind, it's
Yeah.
like hop on because this is going to affect schools, the way our kids learn, the way we move forward. And so it's interesting having children that are teenagers and high school now going into
Mhm.
college, they assume or know that AI is a part of the equation, and they will say things like, with your scholarship application, use AI to help you come up with an outline and then write your essay. So it's
Wow.
not like ignoring the fact that it exists. They
Mhm.
know it exists, but to say, don't have AI write the whole thing, right? Which
Yeah.
some of them will choose to follow that and some won't, but
Mhm.
it's part of our reality. So I think
Yeah.
moving forward with that as a piece of our educational foundation of, hey, this is happening, so let's
Mhm.
use it. So let's talk a little bit about mental load, especially a
Mhm.
lot of a buzzword now is like invisible load, invisible mental load, and that is
Mhm.
something primarily that is given to the mother.
Mhm.
What are some of the invisible load pieces that we are able to remove by using this app or to streamline? Maybe we can't remove it, but maybe streamline. Let's talk a little bit about that, what we
Yeah.
do and what we wish people understood about that a little bit more.
Yeah, and I think, like, honestly, the app isn't even perfect still. There's so much more I still wanna do with it to help with the mental load pieces, like scheduling tasks and things for you, but, as it sits right now, definitely, like, the meal planning piece, the schedule itself, so it can integrate with, like, your Apple Calendar, your Google Calendar, and pull all your tasks in, and then it does send you, like, notification reminders and, like, a nice little daily summary, each day if you would like a reminder and something I actually built in for myself. I've kind of like whatever things that I feel like would be helpful as a mom, I've put into the app. So something that I forget for myself nowadays is like to go get a pedicure or just like take some time off. So like I actually
Mm,
built it so that Ken will be like, give you gentle nudges and say like, hey, when's the last time that you actually did something for yourself as a mom? So,
smart.
because I feel like we need that sometimes as moms. We just get so caught up in like
All the
the mental
time.
load of taking care of, yeah, yeah,
Yes,
all the
it's like
time.
our annual exam even, or like taking
Yeah.
our vitamins. Totally, because we put the
Yeah,
kids
just
needs.
like taking care of ourselves.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. We're being nudged by our kids all the time to take care of
Yeah.
them or email reminders or different things like that. So I love that that app
Mhm.
includes that.
Yeah, so that's one of the things that I like recently did that I was like, this is gonna help me. So I hopefully it'll help other moms too. And then it also like I have a whole section like dedicated to tools. Um, excuse me. One of the things that I like to do each summer is try to do a garden with my kids. And last year we didn't do it. But this year I was like, no, we are doing it. I was like, how can I even use AI to help me like make a garden planner? So I kind of built my own in Claude and I was like, no, like this should be in my Kin app too. So I built it into the Kin app and you put in your zip code. It tells you your like growing zone. And it actually does a really, really good job of like telling you what you should plant, what foods your kids might actually eat. So like, but we like strawberries. We like to just like pick our strawberries and eat them in the garden. And so it told us like what seeds to plant next to the strawberries. And then it updates like each month. You can just like refresh it and it'll stick to your plan. So
Cool.
that was like a really cool, like, again, just a little thing like off my own mental load that I don't have to track like what to plant or what to plant next or how to take care of my little garden that I wanted to do with my kids. So it's just like little things like that that I've kind of built in. It has a budgeting tool, your shopping lists. And yeah, it also just has a general like chat tab that is kind of the main home screen where you can do the garden planning. And I like it too that it you kind of like pick whatever your personality is as a mom. So I don't think like a lot of apps take that into consideration, especially like a DIY or homestead mom as a category. There's even a category for like the AI skeptic mom. So those like as you choose kind of your category, it kind of like designs your experience within the app.
Smart.
So that's kind of, I guess, another angle that I took with my app that I thought was different than maybe what else is out there.
What about your kids' schedules, like performances,
Mm,
practices?
yes.
Tell me a little
Thanks
bit
for
more about that.
Thanks for calling that out. Yeah. So it actually, as long as it does it just right. So I myself am like learning that it is an AI tool. So AI, as we all know, can still get things wrong. But in the scheduling tab itself, you can preset it to know like what your kids' names are. So it'll have like a color code for each kid's activity. Or if you just kind of start like brain dumping into Kin and telling it like what you have for your schedule, if you have your son's like swim practice coming up or a basketball game, it'll actually like color code your kid's activity on the schedule itself. So I kind of like that because it does it automatically. Where I try to do that on my own like Apple Calendar, and it's just like kind of hard to keep up with that.
Yes.
So it should do that automatically. Again, it's AI; it's not perfect, but
No, that's
it's supposed to be
great.
able to pick up on your kids' names and be able to do
Okay, what about
it.
what you're making me think of, and because I actually just purchased this for Christmas this last year, is a skylight calendar,
Mm.
but they're very pricey. So this is sounding like it could replace what that functionality is. Do you have a piece in there for chore charts or keeping things clean? Anything like that?
Not yet, but I actually have a sister-in-law that also uses the Skylight calendar. And so then I started asking Claude, I was like, how can I integrate Kin into Skylight calendars?
Mm.
Because I want them, and there's actually a way to do it. I haven't done it yet.
Or
But
you make it so it can replace the skylight calendar. Because if
yes,
there's
that's
a
good
way that you
too.
can do that, that would save a
Yeah.
ton of money. And if people have like, I guess if you needed like a bigger screen and you really wanted that visibility, that
Mhm.
maybe that would be a thing. But I
Yeah.
know that that is a big barrier for a lot of people that want to have a
Mhm.
chart to like track chores for kids, especially
Mhm.
like through the summers when they're home and in your hair all the time. So
Yes.
as your kids get
Yeah,
older, I know yours are younger, but that's probably a good
that's
idea
true.
for version 2 or whatever as you're
Yeah, no,
adapting
thank
it.
you. Yeah, and
Yeah.
that's where I like having conversations with other moms, especially since my kids are younger. It's different stages
Hmm.
of life. One of the things I did just recently add to the app going into the summer was like a summer schedule planner. So you do tell the app your age, your kids' ages, It'll search like local activities to integrate like at the library or things to do. And it could build either a daily schedule or a weekly schedule, like if they have camps each week. So I have kind of built in a separate like scheduling kids planner that way, but the idea of like having the cleaning chores and that has not been added yet. So that is for version 2, like you
Up
said. That's a
next,
good
up
idea.
next.
Yeah.
Okay, perfect. So shifting a little bit into your CEO mindset, because I know you're new. So you may not even consider, listen, I interview women who are literally making hundreds of thousands and they have a hard time calling themselves CEO. But I want every woman to consider themselves a CEO of their lives and potentially a business, if that's most of the people here listening are. But switching into that CEO mindset, you've been building this while working full time and raising two young boys. What has kept you going? Like you are in the middle of it. Talk to us a little bit about that.
Yeah, sometimes I feel like when you're in the middle of it, it's hard to like take that step back and like really have that perspective, I guess. So, in my mind, like it's just been so fun. I've like doing something, like I said, I'm a pharmacist by like training, education. I work in pharmacy, I work in healthcare. Not that that's not, I mean, I love my job, I love what I do, but there's nothing creative about it. There's nothing like
Mm,
fun or inspiring. You're not like necessarily talking to other. I love what I've been doing with this business and like the reach out and the community I've already started to build is like talking to other moms that are also building things, that are also like content creators or in marketing. So I've just like really been inspired by honestly the other moms that I've been talking to that have already built things. And I think that from my perspective, like now I forgot your original question, but I think that I've just been
what
I've
keeps
enjoyed
you
it so
going?
much because of
Yeah.
yeah, the creativity and like the other conversations I've had with other people, and just seeing like the possibilities and knowing right now, like with AI, the possibilities are endless. And so I think that like I do feel like I'm kind of at the forefront of some of this and building some of these things. And I just hope that maybe my story can inspire other moms to do the same. Um, and I think that in itself is kind of motivating, I guess.
Yeah. No, that's great. Was it hard as far as like finalizing the things that you needed to wrap up? And obviously, you're still with an app, there's always going to be adaptations, improvements, of course. But was it hard to get your app approved through the different app, like Apple and Android? Like, tell us what that process was like.
It's so funny that you asked that question because my husband was the one that's like, quit tweaking it. Like, it's fine. Just submit it. Just submit it. And so I, like, up to the last second, like, I just kept finding more and more things I wanted to fix, more improvements I wanted to add, more enhancements. So it was really him that was finally like, it's fine. Like, push it out there, get it submitted. So I finally did submit it. It was a process to like get it through the App Store. You have to be approved as like an Apple developer and even on Google Play. Like, those both of those processes are a little bit tedious. But again, I used AI to help me through those steps of like actually filling out the applications and getting through getting it to the point that it was actually live in the App Store. So, and then I think the other challenge was is like not only do you have to get it into the App Store, but then you have to get it verified with Google to be able to like do a Google Calendar connection. So I kept finding like all these different things
Mm.
and other barriers that like as a again non-techie user of an app, like I never once thought about like why an app wouldn't seamlessly connect to a calendar. But now I've like learned about API keys and like how you have to connect to even with my Kroger integration, like having to build that out. Like there's so many things that I've been learning. Like I probably still can't speak to it that well because
Hey,
I've
you're
just
ma-
asked.
you're you're
Yeah.
sounding legit to me. You said API keys. I heard that.
Yeah. Thanks, Camille. But I think that like the whole time I've just literally, it's almost become like a coworker, like me and Claude working on this together. It sounds like my husband makes fun of me that Claude's my new boyfriend, but it's been like this like work partnership of me trying to figure it out with AI. And I'm just like, yeah, I am excited for other people to keep using it.
Yeah, that's exciting. And it sounds like you have a great support system with your husband cheering you on.
Yes. Yeah.
What was his reaction to you saying, "Hey, I know I have a job and I'm raising kids, but I also want to do this." Listen, these are
Yeah.
conversations I've had with my husband, so I totally get it. I
Yeah.
think the
You don't
ladies
know.
listening can relate.
Yeah.
So, what was that like with him having those conversations?
He's been really encouraging from the beginning. I mean, he just gives me a hard time about when I won't hang out with him at night and watch a show anymore. I'll go build with Claude, and he's like, "Oh, there you go with Claude again." So he gives me a hard time with that sometimes, but otherwise, he's been super supportive. He thinks it's a little bit weird. He thought I should build something or try to do something with AI, like in my niche, like a farm as a
Mm,
pharmacy, as a pharmacist. So that was his feedback, and maybe someday I will. But right now, I was like, no, as a mom, like going through this right now, I need a tool that's actually going to help me, like right now, with my mom, with my mental mom load. So
right.
that's where I started first, I guess.
Well,
Yeah.
that's really cool. So if you could wave a magic wand and solve one business problem tomorrow, what would it
Mm,
be?
wow. One business problem. Um, hmm. I don't, like you said, I'm very new to this. I started my LLC 3 months ago, so like I'm just fresh off the boat, or however that would go. I think the biggest problem that I'm already experiencing is like um just like the marketing side of it. I don't know anything about marketing, so um I think AI is good at a lot of things, and I was just telling someone about this the other day. Is like I don't think AI, at least what my experience has been, like is good at the marketing stuff. And I think that
Mm,
AI, there's always going to still need to be that human connection, that
yeah.
empathy, and that human touch. And so I think
Mhm.
marketing really hits on that. And people are smart. Like people can figure out what's been AI generated, or like
Totally.
so I think that as I like am building my business and like building this community, like I just want to try to keep that like human connection piece as much as like my focus is on AI. I don't want to lose like I don't know, moms need other moms and moms need community. So I think
Mhm.
like that is something that AI can never replace. That's not really an answer to like a business problem, but like I just think that too many people like doing businesses right now are relying a lot on AI and AI tools. But I've already quickly realized, like 3 months into this, like no, I don't think I can use AI for marketing, so I'm going to outsource that and like join with a real human to help me with that. so,
Yeah. Yeah.
so I think that like I think you have to figure out like as you're building a business or like these business challenges that come up, like yes, you can try AI, but I think at the end of the day, like I think there's still always going to be like you should still always explore like the human
Mhm.
um, solutions as well.
Yeah. Well, that's really cool. So, if there's a mom listening right now who has an idea that she's thinking of or wanting to try, if you could tell her some advice right now, what would you tell her?
Oh my gosh, I would say like this is the perfect time to go for it because like you do have AI, and it is like such a it takes away a lot of the barriers of how to learn. Like I learned how to set up an LLC by using AI. And so like even just the like, building the foundations of like setting up a business, it can help you with that. And if you're I don't know, I don't have an Etsy store, but if you're setting up an Etsy store, like trying to do those things, it helps you through every step of that process. So whatever it is, like whatever. I feel like so many moms I've talked to, like a lot of my mom friends are in the same stage right now where we have like little kids, but we're just all like itching to do something creative or to do
Hmm.
something like for to have for ourselves. And I think like this is just the prime time to do it because you can literally do whatever you want to do. And it just sounds like maybe a pie in the sky kind of thing, but I think that that's really the case right now with the AI tools that are out there.
Yeah, I agree. Well, tell our audience, Cassandra, how people can find Kin, follow you, try out the app, and how how that works.
Yeah, great. Thank you. My website is canyoudoitall.com. So KIN, you do it all. My Instagram is also Can You Do It All. And my Pinterest is Can You Do It All. So Can You Do It All is kind of my LLC, I guess my company name. And then Kin AI Assistant for Moms is the app name. So Kin is live in the Apple Store and also on Google Play.
Awesome. So proud of you. And I love your message that you don't have to know how to do something before you begin. And that is such an important message for all of us. I think that applies to so many different things and motherhood. I mean, no one gives you a perfect handbook. If we can figure that out, AI can help us with the rest, right? So, curiosity, resourcefulness, and persistence is what it takes to really move that needle. And if you are listening to this episode and thinking that there is something that you want to do, or you're looking for a little mentorship, or you need help with that, coaching is actually what I do here outside of this podcast. So if that's something that you're interested in, you can reach out at callmeceopodcast@gmail.com. But thank you so much for being here, for being a part of this community. Women need women, and we need it in business and in motherhood. So thank you for tuning in, and I will see you next time. Hey, CEOs, thank you so much for spending your time with me. If you found this episode inspiring or helpful, please let me know in a comment and a 5-star review. You could have the chance of being a featured review on an upcoming episode. Continue the conversation on Instagram at Call Me CEO Podcast. And remember, you are the boss.